And now we're getting somewhere. In the last video, we put together a character to start testing our idea for a game engine with, or start working with the game engines. Before we get started, we probably want a background to put that character on. So for starter test images, obviously the final images, you're going to want to take a lot of time and focus and get really nice images and animations going. But for quick starts to get the code up and running, there's a thing I like to do in Microsoft Paint. We need to get some tiles or rolling backgrounds. I do both of them here. We'll do a background tutorial coming up before too long. So for right now, just some quick tiles. What I do is just choose a shape with no outline and one of the fill patterns. Maybe I'll do a natural pencil. And color 1 is the outline and color 2 is the fill pattern. So now just choose some colors. So come over here, choose some sort of brown color. And I'll stretch that around there. And then on top of it, can add another layer. So maybe brown, a couple shades of brown. Something lighter to go on top of it, maybe. Yeah, and then build up a textured surface. And on top of that, I'll throw in maybe something green. So come over here, choose a color, some natural looking green color, and I think I'll change the texture, maybe a crown or a watercolor. That'll work. That'll work for now. Just a quick test image. And now to make it a tile, we need the left and right and top and bottom sides to match up. So the quick way to do that is just hit Control A to select everything, Control C to copy it, and not really necessary. I like to switch this background color back to white, then stretch this out to give us some space, and Control V to paste it. And then when we right click on that one we pasted in, we're able to flip it horizontally. And when that lines back up, we now have something that the left and right sides match on. And I'll do that similar idea for rolling images. I'll do sort of a quick landscape looking thing and then just do a freeform cut from the left hand side, copy, paste, flip it, and set it on the right side. That in the basic image, make sure they kind of line up, and then cut from the left side and paste on the right side to make sure the pixels exactly line up. But we will see that in a tutorial coming up soon. And now we need the top and the bottom to get our tile. So I'm going to select everything, copy it, get a little more space here, paste that in, and then we can flip this one vertically. And line back up. Now we have something that the left and right and top and bottom match up on. So once we have that tile, I'll go ahead and save this in that same folder. Okay, I'm going to call this grass underscore tile 1. Kind of a big one. Probably don't want this size of tile, but I'll resize that in Inkscape. And I also like to do this to these sort of semi-random patterns. They're not really random because I'm using the fills here. But I found layering those fills can create a nice pattern. And then over in Blender for 3D modeling, use that for texture mapping. So I have multi-purposes for that. So I'll do that same thing. You can see it's very quick. Just put a couple layers on, copy, paste, flip, copy, paste, flip. So a whole lot of them can be made very, very quickly and get some texture mapping and 3D modeling stuff, or a quick background tile, which needs to be resized. So I'll do that over in Inkscape, which is still open here. So by default, Inkscape works with SVG stuff. but we can also work with pings. So I'll bring in this one. And it gave us this. Now we can see that image, which is quite a bit bigger than what I want. So I'm going to hit the selection tool, and notice we have their scale properties. So we just want to resize it to something. So there's a lot of buttons, right? It might be hard to remember. So sometimes what I like to do is grab the corner and scale it down and see which one changes. Oh, looks like this one up in the toolbar changes. So I want to make this a 64 by 64 tile. There we go. Now we have a nice 60 small tile to work with, where we know the left and right, top and bottom sides will line up. And I'm going to come over to the export. That's still open. If it's not, if you close that toolbar there, or tool menu, whatever the term for that thing is, you can come to File and open it back up from the File menu with Export Ping. And here, I don't want to export the whole image because the whole image is still that big size. I just want to export that selection. It's 64 by 64 set to pixels, 96 dots per inch. That'll be a good one for that. Looks like the right folder. It just needs a different name. And I'll call this grass.ping. So I'm going to export that. And over in our folder now, we have the 64 by 64 version, as well as that original one that we could, well, kind of do more editing on. It's in Microsoft Paint, so once those layers are there, they're there. But we still have a big one to work with and the small one we need. So I'm going to close this without saving it, because I don't want to mess with that original one. So close without saving. Close without saving. Because I don't want to change the original, I just want to have a copy to work with. So that'll give us a background tile to work with. And later, those unique textures that just, it's not really random, but scattered texturing will work really well to try different things with texture mapping when we get to more detailed versions in the 3D modeling. But we have a grass ping and a character ping and a character SVG. So we have a tile and a character, so we can go start putting images in the 2D game and add that to our project. And then after that, we'll do the same thing with just some quick start 3D imaging. So see you in the next video so we can actually bring this into our game.